Today, I wanted to talk about Italian destroyers. Now that they've finally fully released to everyone, I have myself the tier 8, and I've been trying to learn how to play this line, and I'm at a bit of a loss, I would say. Personally, these ships feel really underwhelming, and that's my primary goal with this video, is not to really complain or point out all the weaknesses, but to actually get your input. I think that there's a lot of you that probably have played these more than I have, and I'd like to know in the comments down below what you guys have been doing to get the most out of these Italian destroyers. Also, let me know if you've been able to grind or free XP your way up to the tier 9 and 10. Do they get better at those tiers? They seem like they might, but I've been having a bit of a tough time with this tier 8, I gotta say. The sap does quite a bit of damage, honestly, even though the reload is excruciating, I would say. It's very frustrating to not be firing very quickly in a destroyer, especially in these DD engagements, but the damage output is surprisingly good, and I think that is going to be the main bread and butter, at least in the way I've been learning how to play these ships. I've been trying to push in, play aggressive, try and get enemy ships to fight me, especially the destroyers, and then use my speed boost and fuel smoke to hopefully remain undetected, and then try and shoot back. In this case, of course, I'm playing ranked, and well, we had to rush in because the enemy team was taking too much control. But I really do think this fuel smoke plus speed boost combo can be incredibly devastating. So it's really just going to be a matter of time or me learning how to play these ships. Really, that is my idea behind these ships, is trying to play a bit of a hit and run play style that I guess seems kind of obvious based on the loadout of these ships, but it really has felt pretty bad. I felt like I've had a tough time carrying games. You'll notice we're well into this match, nearly 10 minutes into this ranked game, and I've done 31,000 damage. Sure, I've helped destroy a destroyer, and I've done a decent job of gaining A control, but it's still not a great experience. I feel like I'm at a massive disadvantage in a lot of DD fights, especially against cruisers, given that my maximum range is about the range of most radars. And then we're getting on to the torpedoes. The torpedoes are such a disappointment to me. And maybe it's because I've heard so much about the Iolo Emilio, the Paolo Emilio. That ship has insane torpedo power. They're fast, they hit hard, and, well, they don't have a lot of range. These ones are kind of the opposite. They're slow, they don't hit very hard, but they have quite a bit of range. And maybe that is to help out with this extremely poor gun range. I don't know. I just don't understand these destroyers. They feel like they're meant to be gunboats, but then their guns don't have range or very good reload, and the ship doesn't have a heal really, or a very decent speed outside of these incredibly short duration speed boosts. I don't know. If you can't tell, I really don't understand how to play these ships yet. And I've been really trying to give it a different experience each game. I've tried a torpedo build. I've tried to play some YOLO experiences where I just go in after battleships, take targets of opportunity with this fuel smoke. But then the torps don't deal that much damage, right? They hit for like 10,000 damage each, and of course with torpedo protection at higher tiers, you're doing 5 to 6,000, 7,000 damage maybe into some of these ships. It's kind of sad. So yeah, let me know what you have figured out with these ships down below. I really do want to know. I feel like I'm pretty bad at playing these. But of course, I'm going to continue to play them and try and learn as I'm grinding my way up to the tier 10. Of course, starting at tier 8 is a reasonable starting point. This match, I didn't even have the fully upgraded torpedoes yet. That could have been part of the problem, since once I upgrade these torps, they have a little more range, but more importantly, they actually get a whole nother torpedo per launcher. So I'm launching set spreads of 4 instead of spreads of 3, which is pretty nice, and certainly helped a lot in the second game. Unfortunately, this one has resulted in a loss for our team, but I dealt 81,000 damage. Not too bad, but I really do believe that I could have done much more in a lot of other destroyers. I really think even some of the Japanese DDs, even though they don't have the best guns, I would feel a little more confident with those guns, since they have a similar experience of hitting hard but long reload. At least those ones have good concealment to go with it. the concealment here really isn't all that great. So unfortunately, we ended up losing this one. 90k, all right for ranked. I did solo cap 2 capture zones, so that certainly helped our base XP here. But yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in these ships so far. However, this match in particular I wanted to show you because this one gave me a little bit of hope for these DDs as kind of silent killers, I guess I would say. The ability to play so aggressive and kind of just sneak away for free. It's really kind of fun. I really enjoyed this match a lot. So to start with, of course, I solo capped C and then I came back to B here, trying to deal with the enemy destroyers as they're pushing in. And as these battleships are trying to flank me, I can just pop this fuel smoke and run away. So I'm starting to see flashes of brilliance, flashes of good things these ships are capable of. I just can't help but wish this platform had more gun range if it was destined to be a gunboat, or if it was supposed to be a close range ambush torpedo boat. I can't help but wish that these torps did more damage and maybe went a little bit faster as well. Even sacrificing all range, like the Apollo Emilio, it would be more beneficial for that ambush predator playstyle that these fuel smokes and the extremely short duration speed boosts can provide. As is, these torpedoes are pretty okay when they land. They almost feel like an underwhelming European destroyer line with the gimmick of a fuel smoke instead of a heal and AA. That's almost what these things feel like to me. Of course, they have more base HP, but I would much prefer a few less hit points up front and gaining the ability to slot a heal. If you know, I do really value healing in this game. It allows for some very aggressive plays to trade a lot of HP early on and still be able to play later into games because that heal can bring you back up to some decent HP. So one wrong move in one of these Italian DDs seems like the end almost, because they rely so heavily on this close range playstyle, and being close range with low HP in the early to mid points of a game is not a great way to succeed in World of Warships. Of course, here I do have this nice smoke play that I'm able to do. This is what I was talking about earlier, where pushing in with extreme speed into capture zones, surprising destroyers, almost baiting them into shooting at you, and then popping the fuel smoke instantly, maybe even the speed boost as well to dodge salvos, and then having your teammates be the ones to spot the destroyers. Since they shot, right, there's a 20-second cooldown after everyone fires, and then their detection will reset. That's 20 seconds of free damage potentially I could get in as an Italian destroyer with a fuel smoke. That's kind of one of my ideas, and why I think these ships might be some really strong cap contesters in the right situation. Maybe even if you divisioned them with a even stealthier destroyer, or maybe a cruiser that can hit really hard into those DDs you end up spotting. I'm not sure. There's a lot of potential here, but I can't help but feel a little disappointed on release just because they fit no category. They don't fit the gunboat that has good range, good shell velocity, good damage. They don't fit a torpedo boat that plays from stealth. They don't really even fit a YOLO torpedo boat like the Apollo, because they don't have the alpha damage or the speed on these torps either. So again, I'm at a loss. I'm a bit confused, but maybe that's a good thing. Freshens things up in the game and forces me to reconsider my playstyle. So again, let me know in the comments down below how you've been playing these things, because I'd really like to know. But that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.